How are we doing, YouTubians? Cueball here. I said in the last video I'd have something a bit more on the bike for you. There was one video I was going to do. I'm not going to reveal what it was. So this is I'm going to call this video I haven't actually said to the subscribers for any questions. What I've done is I've gone to my group. You guys are close to me now that I've got a motorcycle group, and we're called the Cheeky Bastards. I'm not going to tell you too much about it, but I've and members and stuff that we've got anyway. But I've put forward to them for some questions, and I've only recently done it today. So today I've only got 10 questions for you. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to answer these 10 questions, and if it's enough time, I think within the video I'll leave it there. If it's short, what I'll do is on the last 2 videos I had a couple of comments. I'll add them to the Q&A, and we'll go from there. So first things first, how you doing, Mikey? And how you keep saying it, mate? Milk. It's Foster's, not milk. So I'm going to crack Foster's open. So that'll keep me lubricated, as they say. And let's get cracking with a couple of these questions that I've got. These are not from the YouTube subscribers, these are from my motorcycle group. So first one's first is from a guy called Mark Blue Neil. How you doing, Mark? And the first question he asked was, what was your first bike? My first motorcycle was back in 2007. I had a AJS Regal Raptor EOS 125 big chopper motorcycle. If I get a chance I'll try and upload a photo. It did about 60 mile an hour top speed. Fantastic bike. It had flames on the rear fender, on the front fender and on the tank. My first bike, I absolutely loved it. The only downside to it was Chinese. Everything fell off it. I tell you what, I miss it. Yeah, so that was my first motorcycle. His next question was, what got you into biking? Well, my brother Chris, if he watches my channel, I know his son CJ watches my channel, so if you're watching CJ, Uncle Simon's remembering you and giving you a shout out. Chris will know why I got into biking. My brother bought he brought, I think it was an Italian bike, and then he bought an Aprilia 125 2-stroke. Absolutely fabulous machine. It did 96 mile an hour standard, and if you unrestricted it, it was well known to about 110 plus. And then, would you believe it or not, it was the first bike I actually got on. And Chris will know this. We went up to Clint Hills, some off-road track, and he took me for a test ride. First bike I got on, would you believe it, doing a bit of gear changing. I got it into second gear, and I thought, oh, I'm well into this. I'll never forget this moment, and all I remember is getting into second gear and giving it some. Worst bike you can ever learn on is a 2-stroke 125, giving it some. Fucking front wheels going up. The next thing you know, all I remember is the bike going in towards the bush, and I went that way. And there was Mike, Chris and John. You alright? Like, yeah, sound. I've still got the jeans with the shred in them. Luckily we got the bike up. There was a few scratches on the fairing, and the indicator was bent, and we managed to get it fixed. Anyway, back to the question, and yeah, and to be honest, if it weren't for my brother, that was the reason why I got into biking. I was well jealous of my brother. Yeah, and ever since I've never looked back. I love my bikes. Yeah, so that's how I got into biking. So on to the next one. Johnny Road Racers give me 2 questions. What is the best bike, manufacturer, and why? Well, you've only got to look around the shed. I've got a GSXR poster, I've got a Suzuki poster. It's Suzuki, obviously. It ain't Kawasaki. So if you're watching, Darren, I'm not a Kawasaki fan. Yeah, and if you're watching, Paul, you're a big Suzuki fan as well. Top dogs, they am. The reason why they're the best manufacturer in my eyes? Well, you've got Kawasaki, you've got Yamaha. They've probably got the fastest 1000 maybe in the class in the BMW, but I think Suzuki have got the best reliability in my eyes. I think when they design a bike, it's fantastic. You got the oil glass eye. I think that's a fantastic thing that they've done. Another thing that I like as well, when you put in the oil in your engine, they've put the amount of oil that you put into the engine. I think little things like that. Suzuki, they design the bike for reliability. I mean, the new GSX R1000 is an absolutely fantastic machine. Not a patch on the new Ducati V4, I will say. But yeah, but I think Suzuki are brilliant and reliable. They're an all-round bike, especially the Bandit. Obviously you got the Hayabusa, which is my favourite bike. Yeah, so that's the reason why. And the next question, what John asked me, was best tyres and why. Best tyres. Well, I used to have Bridgestone, but I will say Michelin, in my eyes, are the best all-round tyre. They're not a race tyre. I think they're just an all-round practical road tyre. I've had road pilots in the past, and they're fantastic, especially Pilot 2. But if you're on a budget, Michelin Street Pilot, they're like a round city style tyre. I think they're good for 130 mile an hour, which is, you don't need any more than that. And they've also got a wet compound in them, and I think they are absolutely fantastic all year round tyre. So that's the reason why I think Michelin are the best manufacturing tyre. I think they okay, you got Pirellis and Bridgestones, they're fast, whatever, and grippy, but I think Michelin's are for an all year round tyre. So yeah, moving on. Clock's ticking. Jay, which is another cheeky bastard member, he put, what's the fastest you've been on a motorcycle? The fastest I've been on a motorcycle, well, I've been on the back of 2 motorbikes, I won't mention who he was, and I've done, I think, was about 130 mile an hour. I've done a little bit less than that on my own, so I think 130 mile an hour is the fastest I've been. That's been a pillion, which I think's more than enough said. Yeah, moving on. Right, and next question was Darren. How you doing, Daz? Another cheeky bastard member. Track or road for riding fast? Well, it's obvious. If you want to go fast, you go on a track. I mean, if you're on the road, apart from Wales, where else can you go fast? There's too many speed cameras. There's too many cars on the road. There's too many dangers on the road. So that's an easy question, really. Is the track. So, moving on to the next question, which is the last 2 questions. Nikki Norris, she's a cheeky bastard member. She's a new member, so welcome to the group, Nikki. What's the best road you've ever ridden on so far? Best road? That's a good question, actually. Best road. There's a road in Bridge North that I love, just past Six Ashes and down the hill and round the bend. So that's probably my best road. Best calf. Well, I've been to a few calves. Best calf. That's a tough one. Best calf. Best calf. Probably the Raven. The Raven calf's a good calf. Big calf, built for a large number of bikers. Got a pool table inside. There's a shower as well if you're on holiday. There's bikes on show, and they always have a great street fighter show. So the Raven calf gets my vote on that one. And finally, but last, your favourite helmet. Well, to be honest, I'm not really bothered about manufacturers of helmets. A helmet's a helmet to me. I mean, you can pay 500 quid for an helmet. As the saying goes, you can't put a price on your head. So, I mean, I haven't owned one, but I would probably say Shoei was probably the best manufacturer in a helmet. Yeah. So, that's 9 minutes so far. So I'm going to make this a bit longer. I'm going to add to this a few comments that I've had on a few of my last videos, just to top it up. Hopefully I'll get more questions in time. But I've obviously only just put it out there. So going back to some of the old videos, the Del Boys Garage versus the Workshop, I put a reply video out there, and I had an interesting comment, so I thought I'd answer that question while I'm here, from a guy called Wayne Pickett. So if you're watching, mate, how you doing, Wayne? Surely Dell, asking you to remove your last video and refusing to remove it, as you say, it's a subject you want to put out there. It's only the same as put Matt in the workshop has done with making videos of somewhat of Dell's practices and approaches to the jobs. My answer to that is I'm not going to remove the video. It's freedom of speech, which I think I said in my last video. As for Matt nicking some of Dell's practices and approaches to jobs, well, my answer to that is Dell's not the only guy on YouTube. There's a lot of people on YouTube doing videos. People watch videos and get ideas and they take it on board and have a go. He also put, I do like and enjoy both channels. I feel that posting stuff on YouTube is a kind of freedom of speech. However, if you put a video on the internet, you have to be prepared for criticism on the content if someone doesn't agree with it. Totally agree, mate. If you put something out there, you've got to expect some criticism back, good or bad. Yeah, so moving on from that one. Yeah, a comment from John again. Great video. Comment from Matt and Dell. Yeah, I had a comment from Matt, which I already told you, and I think I already told you when I spoke to Matt, so that was that one. I thought I'd throw Mike into this one. How you doing, Mikey? Ah, that's a beautiful sound. You're definitely moving up. Must be the milk, meaning the Fosters. Thanks, mate. You're a sport. This video is nice. What a great idea. People feel cherished with this way of a lot of YouTubers forget the audience. Totally agree, mate. I think if people involve the subscribers more with the channel, they've got more chance of keeping the subscribers. It's always about themselves and how they feel or do, which is what I've just mentioned. But that keeps the audience away, and a warm relationship is the best way to keep forward and respect from us and to you subscribers. You feel very well, my friend, and rock on as usual, and yes, have some Foster's milk, as he says. So yeah, that answers that question for you, Mikey. I thought I'd answer this one as well for Who Am I? Slowly getting better, mate. It's knocked me around a bit. It will not get me down. All the best, mate. Hope you get better soon, and like I said in the last one, hope to see you on the road. I think there was a couple of other comments on another video that I put out there, going back 2 videos, Dell Boys versus the workshop video that I put out there. I'd had some few extra comments, so I thought I'd answer them too. Just going through now. Yeah, I had a couple of ones. Cool's video, greetings from Germany, from a guy called Night Rider. Yeah, so yeah, how you doing in Germany, mate, from the UK? And finally, but last, I'll leave it here. Paul Ford, I haven't seen you for a bit, Paul. Good to see you back on the channel, mate. If you really want to boost a side, don't settle for anything. You can pick an early one up for not a mully nunny now. Still going to cost you for the tyres though. They make so much talk. Yeah, talking about the Hayabusa, Paul. Yeah, Hayabusa is my dream bike. As for the tyres, go back to the Michelins, put a pair of them on them. I can understand what you're saying. A lot of power, it's going to burn the tyres up. Yeah, one day I will own one, so yeah, I'll leave it there. Thanks for putting a comment, mate, and we'll leave it there. So this is a Q&A, answering a few questions for the cheeky bastards. So thanks for your questions, guys and girls, and I've answered a few comments as well. I'm off to Paul's garage tomorrow. Bandit's getting back in the garage, a few jobs on the RF, so I'm thinking 3 or 4 videos while we're in the garage. I might even do a Q&A with Paul, so catch you for midweek. Hopefully I'll have something for you. And I'll see you next time. Rock hard. Have a beer. Catch you next time.